Alright, so now we're going to start graphing circles. So first thing you've got to realize is that a circle is not a function, but it can be represented as an equation and it can be graphed. So we're going to be graphing something different than what you've ever graphed before. There are two basic forms of an equation of a circle. You have standard form, which is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. You're going to find h and k are used often. If you'll remember, it was used in vertex form of a parabola. It was the important part of that parabola. It was the vertex. This is h and k in this case are the important part of a circle, which is the center. R represents your radius, which is your length from your center to the edge. So r is your radius. So in general form, you've got ax squared plus by squared plus cx plus dy plus e equals 0. So general form is basically taking this and squaring it into a trinomial, and this and squaring it into a trinomial, taking this and squaring whatever number that is and bringing it over, and then putting them in order of squareds, then not squareds, and then just the numbers when you combine all the like terms. We'll get there in a little bit. So first thing we've got to do is look at standard form. So when it's in standard form, or if you want to put it in standard form, and you have the circle, all you need is that where the center is and what the radius is. Those are the only two things that you need. So for some examples, if a circle is at the center at the origin, it has a center of 0, 0. So if the radius is 9, for example, and its center is at 0, 0, it's x minus 0 squared plus y minus 0 squared equals 9 squared. So x plus 0 is just x, so that's x squared. Y minus 0 is just y, which is just y squared. And then that equals 9 squared, which is 81. This is the equation in standard form. So if you have your worksheet from today, then that was this one right here. So this starts right here with the standard form with the center at the origin. So this, I know already, the center's at the origin. All of these are going to be x squared plus y squared. I don't have any parentheses because the center's at the origin. I'm not changing my x's. I don't mean to put that tail on the x. I don't know why I keep doing it. All right. And then all I'm changing is the radius. 9 squared is 81. 14 squared is 196. The square root of 31 squared. Well, the square and the square root cancel each other out, leaving it with just 31. Okay, so for these have a center that's somewhere other than the radius, so, or the origin, I mean. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to set this up, we're going to open this, and we're just going to set up what is the shape of this function. And I know it's x, and I know it's y, and I know I've got something over here. Well, I already know from what I just practiced up here that if I just take the radius and square it, I've got my number over here and I'm done. Okay, so what I do is remember from parabolas that anything inside parentheses is like living in opposite worlds. So whatever the sign of these numbers are, I'm going to put the opposite of that in here. So if this is positive 4, I'm going to write minus 4. If this is positive 7, I'm going to write minus 7. So step 1 would be set up your parentheses and square your radius. Step 2 would be fill in that x and y and change these to the opposite. It's a real quick little process. So here I'm going to go x squared, set up my other one, y squared equals 6.2 squared, I don't know off the top of my head, 6.2 squared, oh I had just done it, 38.44. So I can already do that. That was just taking this number and squaring it. Alright, and then the opposite of negative 3 is plus 3. Opposite of positive 8 is minus 8. That is the equation. That's it. So the center of this one is 2, 9. So I'm going to end up with x minus 2 squared plus y. And this will be a plus 9 squared equals squaring the square root of 11 makes that cancel out, making it just 11. Alright. This is always a plus between these two. You don't have to worry about if it looks one way or the other. It's always a plus. So for this one, it wants the standard form for circle A. Circle A is right here. The center is at 16, and then it looks like it's 16, 10. So we're going to go x minus 16 squared plus y minus 10 squared. And my radius goes from, is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's the radius right there, that length. So it's a radius of 10, so it's going to equal 100. 10 squared is 100. B, it was the point 420, so x minus 4 squared plus y minus 20 squared equals, and then my radius is at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. It's the same size, so it's also going to be 100 is my r value there. So here my point was at 0, 0, so that's just an x squared plus y squared equals, and all I need to know is my radius. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and those went by 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So 12 squared is 144. And you can go in any direction, I just happen to go down. So now you want to go the other way. You want to graph the circle. So my center is at 3, 2. So I'm going to go over here to positive 3, positive 2, and put a dot. My radius is the square root of 9, which equals 3. So in every direction, I'm going to go 3 units. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Drawing circles is tricky. I try to put curves at the points first and then connect my dots. They're never pretty, I'll be honest. No, don't try to make yourself make a pretty circle on these. Alright, so our center is at -4, positive 1, and our radius is at 5. So -4, positive 1, and then in every direction 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then down 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just a matter of counting. Alright. I want you to try this last one on the front of the page and on the back. So now we have an application problem. So we've got a bank of lights is arranged over a stage. Alright, so that's a bank of lights, I guess, is a set of lights. Each light illuminates a circular area on the stage. A coordinate plane is used to arrange the light. Using the corner of the stage as the origin, here's the equation. It represents one of the discs of lights, right? It says the 3 actors are located at. So Henry is located at 11, 4. So we're going to go out here to 11 and then up 4. So here's Henry. Alright, he's in green. Alright, Jolene is at 8, 5. 8, 5. Alright, and Martin in orange is at 15, 5. Alright, and so the question is which actors are in the disc of light? So I'm going to go out here in a different color. We're going to go in pink. And I'm going to graph this. So at the point 13, 4 is here, and it has a radius of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can tell the one who I designated as blue would not be standing in the light. So that's Jolene. She's not in the light. Alright, write the following in standard form from general form. So I told some of you this is where we have to use our completing the square, which we do. So step 1, put like variables together. Step 2, complete the square. Then step 3, move numbers to the other side of the equal sign through addition or subtraction. Alright, so what we're going to do for this first one is we're going to put your x's together. So x squared minus 8x plus y squared plus 7 equals 0. Alright, y squared, I don't have anything that I need to try to complete the square with because it's just by itself, it's complete. But this guy I do. This is where we use that shortcut where I say x and then half of this number is -4 squared. Negative 4 squared is 16, so I'm going to subtract it from this side. I'm going to go plus y squared, and this becomes negative 9 equals 0. Then I'm going to add the 9 to this side. So x minus 4 squared plus y squared equals 9. It's in standard form. My center is at 4, 0, and my radius is the square root of 9, which is 3. So here's one where we've got both the x and the y to do. So I've got x squared plus 4x plus y squared minus 6y minus 3 equals 0. So I'm going to look at my x's and then my y's, and I'm going to have to subtract off two numbers. So here I'm going to say x plus 2 squared. 2 squared is 4, so I'm going to minus 4, plus, and then I've got y, and then half of 6 is negative 3 squared. 3 squared is 9, so I'm also going to be subtracting 9. So negative 3, negative 4, negative 9 all combined is negative 16 equals 0. Then I'm going to add the 16 to the other side, so x plus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals positive 16. That's my answer. That's it in standard form. It has a center at negative 2, positive 3, and a radius of the square root of 16, which is 4. So here we've got numbers in front of this. So I've got 2x squared minus 16x plus 2y squared plus 4y plus 20 equals 0. Okay? I have to undistribute this 2. 2 times x squared minus 8x. I have to undistribute this 2. 2 times y squared plus 2y plus 20 equals 0. I am not even touching that yet. Here I do my shortcut now. 2 times x, and then half of this number is minus 4 squared. Now when I got to figure out what I need to subtract, I've got to do 4 squared is 16 times 2 is 32. So I'm going to subtract 32. Shortcut here. 2 times, and then y, half of 2 is 1. 1 squared is 1 times 2 is 2, so I'm going to subtract 2 more right there. So I'm going to end up with negative 14, because negative 32 and negative 2 is 34, plus 20 is negative 14 equals 0. I'm going to add the 14 to both sides. So I get 2, and now I can also factor out a 2. So I get 2 times x minus 4 squared plus y plus 1 squared equals 14, and divide both sides by 2. And I know that's a lot, but we will practice and practice and practice these. So I'm done at this point because I've got my x in parentheses, my y's in parentheses, and I've got just the number on the other side. This has a center of positive 4, negative 1, and a radius of square root of 7.